I don't know what to call these things these days. Okay, surface area and volume, including holes. So let's do the volume first. I think that one is always a little easier to do. So volume here, total volume would be the volume of the triangular prism minus the volume of the cylinder. Okay, so there we have it. So yeah, so this is going to be a little, I need you to remember this property, this right here. We don't have a formula for it, but it is essentially area of the triangle times the height, correct? That is what the volume of this is. So you have a triangle at the base and it just keeps on stacking up. Minus pi radius squared times height. So we got that part, and the heights are the same. So let's see what we can do. Area of the triangle, maybe on the side somewhere. I'm going to go here. And you notice that it's an equilateral triangle, so everything is 20 all around. So I'm just going to cut that out. 20, 20, 20. I can cut this here because I need to know the height of this to find the area of that face. So when you cut it out, you've got 20 and 10, and this is my height. So I have to do a little bit of math there. Height is going to be square root of hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared, and that ends up being root of 300. So if you want to keep it like that, that's fine. But that ends up being 17.32 and something feet. I will give you a mark for that. That step of you finding the height. We're not rounding just yet, but I'll give you a mark for that step. Okay, so now I go back into this triangle. I know the height now. So I'm going to go base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to go back up here, right, to the original work that I was doing. I'm going to go base times height. So you got to be careful. Yeah. This is just the area of the triangle. Correct? That height, what height are we talking about here? It's the 40. Okay, it's the 40. So this is times 40 minus pi. Radius is just 5, right? I'm going to indicate that here. So 5 squared, and it's still talking about the same height, right? The 40. We're going right through, so the overall height is the same. And now we got to clean that up. Let me just check here. Did I do this right? Oh yeah, I was a little off there. I'm just, every once in a while, I'm just looking to make sure. So this is 6928.2 something minus all of this here ends up being 3141.59 and then something. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Always let me know. I appreciate that. Sorry about that. So this whole thing here, amounts to that, and all of this amounts to that. Okay. So there's a lot of moving pieces. So let's break this down first. I would for sure, you just doing the triangle times the height here, I would give this a 1.5 marks today, because you have to make sure you account for this. And I would just give this half, because this is pretty straightforward. This is just plug in and go. Okay. And then you're going to get another mark for actually crunching this and doing this correctly. So this is 3786.61, and we are in cubic feet, right? It doesn't ask us to state it in any particular unit, so we just stick with this. There you go. 1 mark for that. So even if you get all of this wrong, you still get the mark for actually doing the math correctly that follows that step. Okay. So 1 mark for the height itself. That's way down here. 1 mark for the height itself. 1.5 marks for you bringing in the area of a triangle, multiplying that by 40, gives you the volume of the whole triangular prism. You subtract this is just half a mark here, and then 1 mark for. So technically, if you do some math and you get the height, you get 2 out of 4. Okay, so I'll change this to out of 4. If you're following what I'm doing, you're getting a 4 there. Okay, volume is done. Let's do surface area. And I will first say total surface area. I will go basically 2 triangles plus 3 rectangles. Right, if you think of there's 3 rectangles all around here, minus 2 circles, because these circles are open, they're not a surface that is there, plus lateral surface area of the cylinder. And I don't really care how you write this out, but I think it's important to lay out your plan. Like, what are you going to do here? So here we go. Total surface area. 2 triangles. You could probably copy paste. So it's 2 times 20, 17.322 something, divided by 2. Right, 2 triangles. Plus 3 times length times width. So every single sheet is 20 by 40, right? So 20 by 40, 3 of those, plus, oh sorry, minus the 2 circles, minus 2 pi radius squared. All right, plus the lateral surface area of the cylinder. So I'm going to go 2 pi r h, and the h is 40. Okay, so let's break this down. I would say this. We're just going to go ahead and give you 1 mark for this part. I'll give you half for the rectangles. I'll give you half for the cylinder, the LSA. But I will give you a full mark for the circles, because that's the one that often causes some, that's a difficult one to account for, or a bit more difficult, I should say. So 1, 2, 3 for this step. Whether you did it separately and then all brought it back together later, that's fine. So let's clean this up. You can probably tell that this 2 and this 2 can go, right? So that gives you 34.6.41, and that keeps going. Plus, this part right here is 2400. Minus, this is going to be 50 pi, so that's 157.07 something. Right, this part. Plus, this gives you 1256.63 something, and you bring it all together, it's 3845.97 square feet. So that's the total surface area. So obviously, if you crunch all of this and you get the answer, that's 1. So whatever you did up here, take away the marks of the things that are missing or that you didn't do. Take those away, but you still get a mark for computing that. Computing gets you a mark. And I would, of course, have to double check that. I know, a lot of moving pieces. On a test, I'd probably either ask you for one or the other. I wouldn't be asking for surface area and volume because it's just too much going on there. Okay? Any questions about this? I hope that after doing so many of these, you get a little bit better. Like you have a game plan. You're like, okay, got it. There's this missing. I know. I kind of know the trajectory that you're gonna take. Convert the surface area to squared yards. This is gonna be up to whatever you got, right? So the surface area here. So 3845.97 square feet. I know that 1 squared yard has 9 because it's 3 times 3. 1 yard has 3 feet, just square that, and that's how you get this. Cancel, cancel. And you get 427.33 squared yards. By the way, if I see you dividing your surface area up here by 9, you get the mark here. Cubic yards, so my volume, 3786.61. This is cubic feet. 1 cubic yard has 27 cubic feet. So you cancel that out, divide it by 27. So it's 140.24 if you got what I got up there, of course. But the step is in me seeing that you're dividing by 9 and dividing by 27. So 1 and 1. Let me just do the math again here. So for question 1, in total, let's just make sure we get this one right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So that's 8 in total. So we got 4 for surface area and 4 for volume. So we are at a total of 8. And it has to do with the height. You found the height of the triangle, so I just made it appear in part B. Normally it would have appeared in under surface area. Okay. Got it? So this page is worth 10 marks. So just put a mark. I know it's hard to put a mark sometimes, especially with these types of questions. Today, just do whatever feels right. But don't be too generous, of course. Like if it's completely wrong, make sure there's something being subtracted, all right? Oh, that's it. Just a one-pager. Okay. So out of 10, then we'll do the next one here. Just hold on for now. We'll do this one next. I think I'll just show you the key for the first couple here. So I asked you to convert from feet to centimeters. This is at the beginning of your booklet, right? 1 foot has that many meters, and then meters to centimeters. I am sure that I've changed the... Didn't I give you something in centimeters already in your booklet? 1 foot has 30.48 centimeters. I may have done that. I'm not sure. But regardless, you get to this. So you get a mark for that. For meters to inches, I use that 1 foot has 3048. So you cancel the meters. And then I go 1 foot has 12 inches. That way I get to cancel the feet. And so you get that. So I give you a mark and a half for that one because the rates are a little bit more challenging than the metric one we did earlier. Cubic feet to cubic meters. You got to watch out there. You know that 1 foot has this many meters. So you raise that to the power of 3. So yes. You indeed go 0.3048 to the power of 3, and one cubic foot has this many cubic meters, and you multiply that by 80, and it's 2.27 if you round it. Okay. And then square kilometers to squared yards. I used miles and kilometers, but I squared it. And I also used miles to yards, I squared that as well. So everything is squared in here. So I just use my calculator to do this. And you end up getting this, 406,65885.18. Okay, and I'll give you 2 marks for that one. So 1 mark, 1.5, 1.5, and 2. So on my calculator, I would have gone 34 times 1 times 1760 to the power of 2, right? All of that divided by 1.6093 to the power of 2. So everything has to be squared. I would suggest you square it and write down what it actually is. Okay. Two should have been pretty straightforward, right? Just plug in. So if the radius is 30, the surface area is 4 pi r squared, and you get that. I give you a mark for that. For the volume, it's just 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. You get that. You get 1 mark for each. That's it. So this page is worth 8 at the end of the day. So make sure this is out of 8 at the bottom of the page. All right, and the back, I will show you this as well, the cone. We figured out the surface area and the volume. So for surface area, you need the slant height. This is the slant. So I used Pythagorean theorem. I used the Pythagorean theorem where you add the legs and you square root it to get your slant. So that gets you a mark. Okay. So then the surface area is pi r squared plus pi rs. Like that's that slant height we were talking about. So the surface area is this many squared yards. For the volume, it's a lot easier. You have everything you need. It's pi r squared, okay, times the height. So the height of the cone is actually going right through it, and you get that many cubic yards. Don't forget to divide by 3. Okay, that's very important. So you get 1, 2, 3 marks. So the slant height gives you a mark, and then the surface area gives you a mark, and the volume gets you a mark. So 3 marks here, that's where the top, that's why that is there. And then it says surface area the following. Let's do that one. I will do that with you. Total surface area. I will find the surface area of the large cylinder, the entire thing. And if I find the surface area of the entire thing, I'm also taking care of this part right here that's on top of the small one. So all I have to do yet is add the lateral surface area of the small one. That's all that there's to it. So that would be 2 pi r squared. I use capital R when there's 2 different ones. Plus 2 pi r h, right? Plus lateral surface area of the small one would be 2 pi radius height, like that, because try to distinguish them. Okay. So it's 2 pi. The radius of the, I hope you understood that 5.3 was the diameter here. So radius is, capital R is 2.65, yeah, thank you. So it's 2.65 squared plus 2 pi 2.65 times the 5.5 height there. It's going to be very tight here, sorry guys. 2 pi, and this radius is 1.8, correct? So it's 1.8 1.8 times the height here, the lowercase height, which is 4.3. I apologize. It does say 4.3, I promise. And then cleaning it up would give me 44.123 something, and then it's 91.577, and then it's 48.631 something. Altogether would be 184.33 square meters. How are we going to break this down? 5 marks is a bit too excessive in my opinion. I'm going to give you 1 mark for showing me what you're doing. And then I'll give you 1 mark for correctly substituting everything in. So 1 mark for showing me what you're doing. And some of you might say, Mr. Erickson, I don't have this, I just have this. If this is correct, like if I can tell what you're doing here, then you get 2 marks for this part, right? So if you haven't done this part, written out your formulas, then this is what I consider you showing me what you're doing. And then another mark for actually typing this in and computing it. So technically you should all get a computing mark if you do this correct. Like if you do the whatever follows your formula should still get you a mark. So 3 marks only, not 5. I think I had volume at one point as well. I only asked you for surface area, right? Yeah. So 3 marks. Absolutely. We'll just do the 3 and 3, right? 3 and 3, that's 6 for this. For the back is 6. You want to see the answer? Which part? The second? This one? So this one would have a total of 14, right? 8 and 6. So cross off the 16 at the top and just make this 14. You got this, guys. You're going to get better every time. Every time.